Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ryam. I'm here with the Gaffers, and we have come up with a special way to introduce ourselves today. So today,
You've come up with a special way.
I have. I crowdsourced it, and here we are. So today we're going to introduce ourselves based on body hair from least to most. So take it away, gang.
All right, now I can go. I'm Deb. I have the least amount of body hair in this game. I'm playing Tessa, the Tiefling Paladin.
I probably have the next least, being the other female member of our party. I'm Kate. I play Neva, our half-dryad druid. So that's about it. Also, I'm Mom, apparently.
I genuinely think I might be next. This is Scoot, your dungeon master and floating head in the sky.
Yeah, you're the only one without a beard, which I think makes you next.
Okay. I'm gonna go only because off of what we can see, I have, I think, the smallest beard. And I have these weird half-dollar patches on my face where hair does not grow, which is a fun genetic thing because my brothers can't grow hair there either, even though we all have different hair colors. We have these weird big patches. But anyway, that was
you can grow a really great soul patch really easily.
Oh, there is documentation back in my community theater days. A lot of puka shells and soul patches.
I remember those days.
And mistakes. Anyway, my name, now that I have embarrassing things to attach it to, my name is Will. I play Roscoe, and I am a sorcerer warlock.
Now you've got embarrassing things to attach to your name? Just
nothing else.
For the first time
Nothing
ever.
else ever has
Yeah,
been
this is it. I've never
This
felt
is the
shame
only
before.
thing.
I don't care for it.
It's a new emotion.
I don't care for shame.
I think that'll be the last time.
I dabbled. No, not for me. I think I'll probably go next. So I'm Randall, and I play Kiki the Kinku Tinkerer, who has absolutely no body hair. She just has feathers. So, fun fact.
She's number one for feathers, though. That's
Number
for sure.
one for feathers.
Followed by Neva, I think.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
I have a lot of feathers too.
It's true. Followed by
some of
Tessa,
us
but
have
not wings.
True.
Yeah.
That's true. We got a couple winged folk.
Fair dues. I'm Robert. Hello. I have the most beard, and Discord doesn't have good enough video resolution to detect much more than that. So this is the order we've chosen.
To be fair, we haven't tried either.
Also true. I was well, I mean, Randall pulled on his collar a little bit, and I was like, well, it's just kind of beige. Thanks, Discord.
And I don't have a back camera, so...
Not with that attitude.
I play Nicholas Doxborn, the human wizard, who probably does not have very much hair. He's streamlined like an otter.
Randall and I just both made the exact same face.
Does he break clams on his tummy with his favorite rock?
That was not how he made that face.
I understand.
No, I understand. I'm just asking an important follow-up question.
He hasn't tried. There's a first time for everything.
Okay. Now that we've introduced ourselves, let's head back into the game, where the Gaffers are coming off a very important adventure, assisting the diva Tulia Jones and coming into her new body, and they have been quite handsomely rewarded for their efforts, having a variety of magical items awarded to them. And of course, Kiki has a brand new toy given to her by her quote-unquote uncle. So the folks, you've more or less spent an evening having revelry, as we often do in Dungeons and Dragons, after some modicum of success, because what's D&D without everyone getting hammered? And now it is dawn of the next day, as the sun comes up over a chilly day in the mountains in between the lands of Thunderblade and the Tranquil Valley. So, what would you folks like to do?
I mean, Kiki will probably be riveted by the puzzle box. She also has yet to use the boots of flight that she got. She wants her first time flying on her own to be special. So she's like surprisingly she almost like doesn't know. So she actually like puzzle box, boots of flight, puzzle box, boots of flight. Like she's happy and obsessed.
She and Neva had a small off-screen moment discussing the boots of flight and her feelings around flight. And, Kiki trying to figure out what special first time would actually mean to her. Like, would it be flying on her own? Would it be flying with friends? And she doesn't entirely know, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And Neva told her that that's okay.
I am picturing at some point her practicing flight with the others who have wings, and we could get some like Blue Angel action going on if we roll high enough that we can get some like aerial maneuvers and stuff like. We'll see if Tessa
and or separately. But Kiki, if you would like to start playing with that puzzle box and seeing what kind of combinations and fun things you can get with that, please roll me an intelligence check as you try to figure out. As you look at it, it looks like a circular, almost Rubik's Cube, and there are arcane markings that are split into different sections. So it looks like as you turn and maneuver these different pieces, you can make different, looks like almost runes or spell works or something. You're not quite sure, as it is very jumbled up. Right now it says nothing, because it's just kind of all over the place.
Kiki, would you mind if I took a glance at that, or just like watch while you fiddled with it?
No,
That
I'm
looks
fine.
fascinating.
Yeah, she's more than.
Can I see if I can find any rune fragments that, like, oh, this one has to go with this one, like anything like that I can help her out?
Yeah, make an Arcana check.
Okay.
Let's see what the Hellraiser box gets
I
us.
got a nat 20 for a total of 23.
Okay, well, good job.
Shoot.
Thank you.
Give me that roll. Give me that roll when you can, Kiki. But Nicholas, as you watch Kiki slowly, methodically move things, and sometimes very quickly move them, as she's going through various ideas, you do see a dwarven runic, or at least the pieces of it. So if you can get Kiki to move, a couple of turns this way and a couple of switches that way, you can hit that rune and properly put it there.
Yeah, so Kiki rolled a 17. Nick rolled crit with a 20.
Yep. So Kiki, as you're doing it, you can hear as you turn things, it's sort of clockwork, but it's way too smooth to be just clockwork. Something usually like tick, 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 tick. Although it does that sometimes. And sometimes it's very easy to move the pieces, and sometimes it's very difficult to move the pieces. Like, you have to put some oomph into it.
So yeah, Kiki's doing her best sort of safe cracking mode. So you see her like her hood of her cloak's back and her ears pressed up to the box, and she's like moving one bit to the right, and she's like conferring with Nick, like back and forth, like this one, this ring, like that sort of.
Yeah, that one right there. This piece here is the bottom of that rune. Do I know what that rune like means, or like if it's part of a particular school or anything?
It means open.
Oh,
In an old it was probably giant at some point, but the dwarves have taken it onto their own. So it means unlocked or open or something along those lines.
Does it speak friend and enter?
yeah. That's the open rune. Seems helpful. I'm sure there's more to it, but just a bit.
Yeah.
Mostly, I just want to watch this arcane device do.
Yeah, should she try again, or how do you want?
So do you want to move? Because Nick can exactly tell you how to get, like, you and Nick together can figure out, oh, it needs to go here and do this, and you can put it there together if you choose to.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So you do, and the box, this sort of ball type puzzle box, begins to get very, very cold, but also sticky.
That's and sticky, like as in her hands are freezing to it, or like
Like glue,
spiderweb sticky.
Spiderweb sticky.
But she can still remove her hands.
You can certainly try.
That is a concerning response to "I take my hand off the box."
That question
you? I
only
know.
has one answer. I'm
Touching
of
the
the
box
strong
would never have
opinion
negative
that question
consequences.
only has one answer.
So Kiki, roll me a strength check, please.
Well, you know what? Actually, if she encounters resistance, would she? At first, I was going to think like she was going to put it down. I think she actually, if she can still manipulate it, is that the thing? Like, are her hands fixed in one place?
You're sort of
Whole thing
stuck
can
at
go
the moment as you've unlocked
Oh.
this thing.
Okay. Yeah. So she will. Yeah, she'll try. Strength check, not her forte. Ooh, 16.
Okay. Kiki gets sucked into the box.
Ooh.
And Nick, you're watching as all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, I can probably get it gone inside."
You hear just a blip of, oh no.
Oh, so okay. Where are we when this happens? And importantly, especially for Nick, what's our proximity to Neva?
Probably not within mom shouting distance, certainly. But you're kind of hanging out in one of the more open spaces as you've just you're all packing up, getting ready to go or to
Sure.
move off where you're going to. So Neva is most likely tending to the gacks that are in the stable. So maybe
Okay.
like a real good 40-yard dash away.
Okay, I'm gonna grab some fabric or some leaves or something to pick up. Did the ball just like drop on the floor?
Yeah, it just dropped on the ground.
Okay, yes. I'm gonna pick it up with something in between me and it,
Good call.
and run over towards where I think Neva's most likely to be.
Yep. Meanwhile, inside the box, Kiki, you find yourself in a very tall mountain. And there is this very light, beautiful snow coming down. And you don't know where you are, but there is this massive range. But you are on a peak of a very, very high mountain.
So Kiki will call out, hello, hello. See if there's an echo or if anyone's around.
There is. So you hear the echo first because it's
Right.
very quiet. You can hear that wind kind of rustling through the peaks below you as you see a like snow white lizard folk sitting on looks like a pedestal on top of the mountain in a state of meditation. Like it's almost hard to see them, but you can make out where they're very slowly breathing, and you can make out some of the more intricacies of the dais that they are planted themselves on.
So Kiki's really fascinated as, someone who has expertise in like mechanics, but also is a bit of a dilettante on everything. And she's fascinated that someone of like lizard folk descent would be in such a cold climate, because she would think that might be like impossible for them to function. So she is. Is she like have all her equipment and stuff? But I'm assuming she's not holding the puzzle box.
No, the puzzle box is
right?
gone from your hands.
Yeah. She'll approach like at a measured pace.
Mhm.
She's not going to rush. She's just going to walk in a non-threatening kind of fashion until she's about like, I don't know, 10, 15 feet away. And then she's going to kind of wave at the person. Hi, hi.
Yep. So the lizard folk off this again. The closer you get to the dais, the more you can see it inscribed with different magical sigils and parts of spell work and words of power on this thing. And it looks the lizard folk themselves looks very kind of gecko-like, so they're smaller, probably not much bigger than Kiki. As it begins to speak in its native tongue, which is a little more hissy at you, and then it realizes, I don't think you speak lizard folk, do you?
No.
So it seems to realize that you're not understanding it, so it begins to speak to you in, what was the language that Aaron, the bird language? Orin. It begins to talk to you in Orin.
Oh, she'll answer back.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, hello. I'm Kiki. Not sure how I got here.
How did
Where
one
is here?
flightless climb so high?
Oh, there was a box, and it was like a puzzle box. It was given to me. Uncle box? No, Uncle gave box. And she's a little excited, and she's like more intrigued than nervous, but slightly freaked out at the same time. So she's like, there was a rune, friend pointed a rune, dwarf rune, turned, got cold, box got cold sticky too, strange, and went, and she perfectly mimics the sound of like the implosion. She uses her mimicking feet to make the exact sound that made before it pulled her. Now here.
And you see a very wide smile come across their lips as they seem intrigued and amused at you. But there's a very positive vibe coming from them. But they don't mean you harm. They seem excited. Finally.
She kind of finally.
Someone was smart enough to solve the first part.
She actually kind of like kicks a little snow and looks down. Had help. Friend helped.
That's fine. My name is Occam.
Hi, Kiki said that. Kiki, hi, Occam.
Do you wish for knowledge?
Oh, yes, always. Yes.
What are you willing to pay for knowledge?
Oh, time, study. Have some gold. Do you like things that go boom? Can make things go boom. She says very proudly. She's basically like time and skills. She's like, what do you want?
Yeah, he thinks about that and he goes, I would like to see a boom.
Really?
And he nods. Or they nod.
All right, so Kiki takes one of her pre-made bumps. She goes, where? She only knows vaguely about avalanches and stuff, so she's a little bit like, she just, unless we're so high up, she just doesn't know. She goes, where boom?
Just nod at me. He's again, they say in Orin.
Okay. So she decides to toss it more up in the air than on anything. So she does the wind up as bonus action and tosses it up.
So the bomb goes up, boom! And you can hear snow begin to rustle as on the peak below you, that noise reverberates and snow begins to careen down the side of the mountain, and the lizard folk puts out their hand. You see a flash of white energy, and the snow stops and becomes much more packed to stop the momentum before resettling back up at the slope where it originally was.
Ooh. Kiki's like, oh, neat trick. Should have asked if there was village nearby down there. Something. People? Okay. Glad you did that.
You, dear Kengu, you're at the roof of the world. There is no one up here. Well, very few beings.
Oh, good. She thinks about her friends and their sometimes admonitions about her, like her and her propensity for explosions. So she's all relieved.
I am intrigued by you, Kenku.
Thank you.
I hope you can solve more things of my box.
Oh, your box.
And they put their hand out again, and there is the puzzle box that you had before, just resting in their hand.
Oh, box here and in box? Same time? Kiki's trying to puzzle this one out, no pun intended.
Right. So they shake their head no, and it seems to be an illusion as they wipe their hand away.
Ah, okay.
The box, you are not in the box, you are on the roof of the world.
Oh.
But the more you solve and the deeper you go, the more you will find, be it good or ill.
Both good and bad in box?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
The box is a key to the past, present, and future.
Oh. You make box or you keeper of box?
Both.
Very clever.
Thank you.
Why make box? Why box exist?
Because sometimes things made long ago are not needed until now, or sometimes in the future, and they must be kept preserved.
Kiki makes a few notes in her notebook. She's not really up on temporal theory, so she's trying to keep it all. And she's used to linear time, so she's like.
He steps into a phone booth and leaves.
Timey-wimey.
Yep.
Okay. She's like, great. So your box maker keeper, I'm holder of box, problem solver.
You
Just
are
trying to figure out like relation.
Right. They think for a moment. You are seeker of that which is within.
Yeah. Seek knowledge. True. She nods.
But I believe a reward is in order for even getting this far.
Oh.
I love that Kiki doesn't do any sort of like fake humility or anything. She's just like, neat.
She's down with prezzies.
And
especially prezzies or knowledge.
So they snap their finger and a very ornate looking dagger appears at your feet. At Kiki's Kenku feet.
Oh. For me?
Mm-hmm.
Is it shiny?
It's super shiny.
Oh my god, and it's in the snow and like the lights bouncing off. She's you can almost hear like the sort of angelic
singing.
Yes. She's just so she reaches down almost reverently and she picks it up and examines it.
Yeah, it is stiflingly sharp. Kiki can tell even from just moving it very carefully, and it makes a sound as if Kiki's going to take a few swipes with it and a couple of stabs in the air. It makes a sound as the blade travels through the air.
Ooh. I shall name you Sting. No, just kidding.
Copyright from this thing.
I know. Oh, sorry. Sting, S-T...
Stinger.
Stinger. Stingly. Yeah, so she's very excited. Oh, thank you. It's really sharp. Is it? Dagger is knowledge? Knowledge of dagger? She's trying to figure out how this fits in with problem solving.
The dagger, they say, is to help you stay alive as if you decide to go further.
Need dagger for deeper in box.
Potentially.
For the first time, Kiki's actually slightly concerned because for her, knowledge up to now has been study, practice, working in the clock shop, and then now traveling to learn things. And yeah, there's been like dangers on the road and for our adventures, but she's a little bit like, might I have to kill for knowledge? And then she thinks to herself, yes.
I'm cool. Am I cool with this? Yeah, I'm fine with this.
But she keeps it all
as she
in.
shuffles her belt of bombs to the side to make room for the dagger. Perhaps I'll have to hurt someone.
If I must. Only if not. Oh, thank you, she said. And she's having trouble, like, she wants to be polite and look at Occam, but she's just continuously drawn to the shiny dagger.
So don't worry. You've more rewards and more peril awaits inside. but I hope you can find the core, Kenku. You would be the first in, since before the sundering of the world.
What? She suddenly, like, you see the calculation symbols go in front of her beak and face, or she's like, how far back is that? So she's thrilled, but also like slightly overwhelmed by the grandeur of everything, like the mountain and this legacy of this box, and it just like eons of knowledge and so on. She's like, thank you, and then she's like, advice for me about box and levels.
You see they lean down towards you. They kind of get close, and they motion you forward. And they get close to your, they don't want to get in your personal space, but they want to get close enough to whisper.
Okay. Kiki.
Pride and greed lead to many downfalls. And then they go, and then Kiki is blasted, like sort of spatially back through a rift. And we'll smash cut here to Nick making it to Neva.
Boy, seems like I'm doing this a lot. Things are going strange when you're walking away. This is Kiki's puzzle box. She was fiddling with it. I helped her find the dwarven rune for open. It's this one here. And she poked it, and then she made the sound kind of like... And now she's in the ball?
Alright, Neva's gonna need to check that shit. Neva seems less worried than Nick does. Probably because it's not her first time seeing somebody disappear into a box.
That has a definite calming effect on Nick.
Oh, this isn't weird.
He sees Neva not, like, freaking out. He's like, okay, deep breaths.
So Scoot, what would you like
Probably
me to
okay.
roll
I
a
would
check?
like Neva to make a history check probably on this.
Okay.
Because this item is not natural per se, it's more arcane.
I was going to say, when the
From
result
a
of a
very
nature roll,
weird,
like,
whimsical
no.
place that has bullshit like this, and there's the crossroads.
13, and I can also roll a perception check to see if I can spot anything other than that dwarven rune on it eventually.
Sure. So, thinking back to your days at Haven, these kind of shenanigans happened a lot. The Queen and King had a propendency for just screwing with people sometimes, and they would make things like this. So, you're not super worried. Make a perception check.
I'm going to use
Fail.
I failed.
And
18.
18. So, taking a quick look at it as Nick's holding it there, what concerns you a bit, though, is there's a lot of old Fey writing that's broken up on the ball itself, along with those runics. And it's sort of shifting to the point where, like, you're not sure if there's one solution to this particular box, or if this is sort of like a gate key of some kind to different places. As you lean in, you get a Kenku in the face as Kiki flies out into your arms.
Good to see you again, Kiki.
Ooh. And Kiki's like head feathers are all like poofed out. She has these couple of feathers on the top of her head that never stay down like a colic. But she's just like, her feathers are poofed, and you see a few flakes of snow kind of drift off. Hi. She looks around confused.
You've been in a snowstorm?
Mountain. High mountain. Back down.
What happened? Did I do that? Are you okay?
Oh, yes, okay. Yes, transported. Not inbox. Clarified that, yes. Met someone, lizard folk, Occam, their name, made box, keeper of box, called Kiki Seeker. And she turns to Nick and she's like, thank you, for help with rune.
You're welcome.
Open first level, more levels inside, knowledge, danger, things. Ooh, and then she she kind of like stands up a little bit, and then she's like, "Shiny dagger." And she-
Neva immediately recognizes the metal.
So before you tell me more about that, because she said Occam, do I recognize that name?
A lot of people have carried that name over time. It doesn't carry any specific.
Is the dagger made of what I think it's made of?
What do you think it's made out of?
Vorpal.
Yep.
Kiki,
Yes, sir.
do you know what that material is?
She looks.
Kiki probably would not have run into this material in her lifetime. This is a very special material.
Yeah,
Kiki,
she has extra shiny material.
well, yes, you're not wrong.
Oh.
That's a Vorpal dagger.
Ooh. Oh,
Kiki probably would have
nods.
heard of Vorpal.
Yeah, Kiki would know. People know of Vorpal, but like seeing Vorpal is something that Neva has done. Neva has seen. Roscoe may have seen in his time. Tessa definitely has, but like you don't own Vorpal.
Ooh, she's very
Tessa has a quote-unquote auntie that has a lot of these types of things, so Tessa would almost recognize it immediately.
Kiki,
Mm-hmm.
you said he gave it to you?
Yes. For opening first level of puzzle box. Mm-hmm.
As a reward.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did they suggest that there's anything else you need to do with it?
Defend myself. Other levels, danger and knowledge. No, other levels of box. Mm-hmm.
Other levels makes sense, especially given what. So Nick, you said there was a dwarven rune on there.
Yeah, I kind of rotate the
also-
ball to point at it for her.
There's also some script on here, which is most definitely Fey in nature, and with a little bit of time, I could probably, no pun intended, puzzle that out, and figure out how to kind of get that part put back together. Which Kiki, by what you're suggesting, might unlock a different level. Do you know where this mountain was? Could you see anything else around? Any landmarks that would have told you what the mountain was?
She thinks a minute and she goes, "Snow?" And she's like, and she goes, he said, Occam said something, rooftop world? Very high, very, very high. Mountain.
The roof of the
people
world?
Something like that. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So Neva, and probably maybe those of you that are a little more well-traveled will know that above the continent you're on lies basically a bunch of snow waste, where if you are not particularly adapted living in mostly snow, or you're not an element of snow, you don't live there, because it is that goddamn cold, and that inhospitable to most of you, and especially Tessa, who I assume is not really thrilled by cold weather.
So
Deb shakes her head no.
Kiki, let me just make sure that I've gotten this correctly.
Mm-hmm.
The puzzle box transported you to the roof of the world, where you met a lizard folk named Occam, who gave you a Vorpal dagger, told you that you'd unlock the first level of many, implied many, suggested there would be danger further ahead. And yeah, I'm sorry, this is a lizard folk living at the roof of the world, yes?
Yes, I know. Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh,
Or
meditate,
really anything living
staff.
at the roof of the world.
Well, yeah, she was like very, felt very powerful. Mm-hmm.
Magic? or something?
Stop the light. Yes, stop this snow landslide, avalanche. Yes.
So
She's
Neva,
struggling for the
being a
word.
druid, would know it's really fucking hard to stop an avalanche. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Especially to casually stop an avalanche.
Very powerful then. Got it.
Occam said no one tried opening box for a long time. Very long time. Oh, box very old. Or Occam very old. Both very old. Something before world formed. Something like that. Yes.
The box existed before the world was formed?
Since something like that. Mm-hmm. Very old. Mm-hmm. I think. He could go back to staring at her dagger. She'll answer Neva, but she's like,
It's so shiny.
it's so super shiny. She's
Did Akum say where he was, or where they were from, or why they made the box?
No. Maker and keeper of box. Very old. Powerful. Something seemed, she thinks so. Seemed amused. Happy? I figured out. First part. But don't quite know why. Also warned, I asked for advice about deeper levels. Said pride and greed lead to many downfalls. Read that as, and then she switches voices. Don't get cocky, kid. Something she heard someone say once.
That's a point of inspiration to Randall.
Oh my god, I love Kiki so much.
Kiki, may I just say, if I were a very old, very wise individual who'd made a very complicated puzzle box, I too would be delighted if you were the first one who solved it.
Kiki does whatever the Kenku equivalent of blushing is. I don't think you can see through her feathers. So she just kind of like looks down and looks very pleased. Thank you.
Feathers fluff a little bit or something.
She keeps kind of like
she knows what birds blushing looks like.
That's true. She kind of keeps like putting her hand on Nick a little bit, just out of gratitude, just kind of like touching his arm a little bit. She's very like, "You helped get me shiny dagger." She's very grateful.
You brought me the shiny.
Nick is very pleased to have helped to obtain shiny.
Well, perhaps once we've arrived in the Tranquil Valley, which is, I believe, still our destination at present, Kiki, perhaps we could sit down and look at some of the Fae writings on it and see if I can help you there.
Oh, yes, please.
But I would suggest that perhaps one temporal spatial displacement is enough per day. And perhaps our next temporospatial displacement should involve walking or at least gack riding. And a little bit more time to do so.
Kiki's trying not to look disappointed because she was already starting to examine the box again, but then she knows that as a druid, Neva has high wisdom, so she'll quietly put the box in her bag for now.
There's kind of two reasons for that for Neva. One being that the next time she kind of wants all of them to be together so that they can help Kiki out. And two, that she does in fact know that rapid temporospatial displacement does actually take a toll on the body. And Kiki, while excited and delighted right now, is a fairly young Kenku, and she wants to make sure she has time to recover. She would tell Kiki that there can be kind of like fatigue effects from that kind of travel. And so she should, eat some extra snacks and drink some extra water today.
Mm-hmm. Kiki nods. She goes, "Thanks, mom friend." She means it sincerely.
Neva is delighted by this.
Now that you have your bird back, what's the plan, folks? Where are we off to?
I think the plan is to continue on our current path, which is towards the Tranquil Valley.
Okay. What's your destination there?
Or was the reason we were going there was for Roscoe, right?
You came here for Roscoe.
So we're in I think kind of the mountain pass moving from the valley around Thunderblade and plains outside there into the Tranquil Valley was where the temples were.
Right.
I think initially Kiki's uncle was in the Tranquil Valley but headed this way. And
so we've since encountered
kind of
him.
checked both boxes.
And we
if we want to start moving more directly, I think looking at the map, if I'm remembering folks' goals correctly, drugs are everywhere, so we can help Nicholas in a couple spots, potentially. But everybody keep your ear to the ground. Kiki especially, I would really like to see that drug deal get RP'd.
If you tell Kiki to keep her ear to the ground, she might do it literally. So
I'm super.
You're counting on it.
treasure that image as well. So it's a win-win for me. I think you might be next up, Neva, as far as path goes. So not to play the same song, but what do you want us to do?
Well, looking at where we mean to travel, there's the ruins that I was told about should be in kind of the central area of Trisands. There are some ruins potentially in the north as well. It was unclear as to which might contain what it is that I'm looking for.
Okay.
But the middle one is on our way, and the northern one would be after where we reach Tessa's destination is anyway. So I would recommend that we provision ourselves for that trip to the ruins. We may want to make use of some individuals and explorers who have traveled there previously, since all of us are rather unfamiliar with that region. And while yes, I do have a high degree of affinity with nature, my specialty is forests and places with trees and not so much deserts.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then I say we get geared up. Do we want to ask around here, or do we want to head back? Are we trying to head through? Because for those without a map in front of them, the Trisands that we are looking at is a desert space roughly enclosed by mountains.
And it runs the
broken
length
up.
of the eastern side of the continent.
Yeah, it's kind of this big natural border. I guess my two questions are, how do we feel? Are we trying to do that travel directly and be in the Trisands the whole time? Or are we trying to circle around back toward Thunderblade directly north and then come in from the side and come through like a mountain pass?
Scoot, from the maps that we have of the region, does it seem like one is a better idea than the other?
Yeah, mostly you're gonna want to go to Thunderblade City to get provisions.
Okay.
The Trisands is not a place to be
Low on those?
Yeah, low on those. There's not a lot of game to hunt, not a lot of plants. It's a mix between like desert and badlands. So you're not going to find a lot of sources of fresh good water. You're not going to find a lot of things to sort of sustain yourself. If you stay in there are mountains that run the length of it, so you can kind of find things there to be okay. But you also don't want to be roaming around in there completely without a guide.
All right, so it sounds like our best bet is to head back to Thunderblade, and we do know that there is a group that has made trips to those ruins from the Thunderblade previously, or from Thunderblade City previously, and then that's probably our best bet.
Great.
Okay, so you're gonna go get your mounts. Tessa will summon Justice. No, the horse likes Justice. Luna. Kiki pops up on top. You guys get your Gax. Although, Neva, you find yours is missing.
I
Apples, no.
look near the nearest trash bin.
He is in it.
Of course.
He's found a whole pot roast somehow. Or most of a pot roast, I should say.
Does it look rotten?
It's not fresh.
Does it look rotten enough that he's going to have, like, gas from it? I'm going to have to deal with that the whole time?
Dice of Fate. Yup, he is.
Oh no.
Apples.
Oh no.
Put it down.
It's like in his mouth like a dog.
Drop it. Drop it.
That was a partially digested pot roast.
I am not dealing with your gas again.
He leans down to eat it.
I start scritching Maxie in the back of the head, just like, you are such a good gack. Like, be normal.
I shake water around it and then freeze the water, which one will make it a little bit harder for him to get to, and two will give me enough time to pull him away.
Yeah, so the mouth goes open. He starts chomping on the ice, and his teeth are sharp, so they're making a lot quicker progress than you might have thought.
Apples. If you put it down, you get extra snacks after dinner tonight. If you don't put it down, no treats. None at all. For the rest of the day.
Apples has a crisis of conscience.
I'm also making him choose between delayed gratification and instant gratification, which is also a problem.
So he just goes yeah and spits it out, and now there's this frozen, sort of half digested, rotting pot roast just sort of on the ground next to this person's house.
I used that. I moved the ice block basically like magic, not touching it for the love of God, and put it back in the trash heap.
Apples comes with you. And you folks are heading north to Thunderblade City. Okay.
Seems to be the plan.
Let's see if anything happens on the road.
On the road again.
The whole time that we are, as we're kind of getting ready to go, I'm going to sort of rummage around on the ground and look for a nice looking rock and pick it up. And I'm just going to be fiddling with it on the back of Sunnyvale the whole time that we're riding, unless things happen.
Okay.
Are you going to try and break any clams with it?
I'm not trying to break any clams.
Yet.
I'm just fiddling with it and casting little spells and things.
Yeah. It's going to take you roughly about 3 days going at a leisurely pace back to the city, stopping at smaller towns kind of for the evening so you're not just out camping in the wilds. The first night goes without hitch. The second night goes without hitch. The third night, though, you find in the middle of the road a beehive.
Is it buzzing?
It is.
When you say a beehive, what size are you thinking? Like, what's the scale of bee that I would expect to emerge from this hive?
Probably like what we would expect bees to be. These aren't like dire hornets or anything.
Okay. I was waiting for the bait and switch of like, oh, did I forget to mention it's 14 feet tall?
No, that's a thrykean. They don't live around here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like it looks like one of those like beekeepers' hives that is just sort of fallen maybe off a cart and it's just sitting there.
I'm gonna cast Mage Hand.
Mm-hmm.
And no.
And no.
No. I'm gonna cast Mage Hand and very gently pick it up and like move it off the road.
It is more than 10 pounds.
Oh no. Okay, I'll go get some.
I'm going to go check it out.
Okay.
Nature. It's Neva's thing.
I'm gonna go look for sticks. I think I read somewhere that smoke is helpful for bees.
It does calm them down, yes.
So
Okay,
Neva,
I'm
as
gonna
you
find sticks.
approach it and you try to like communicate with them, they're not responding to you.
Can I see the bees?
Yep, you can see them. They're buzzing around and it makes the sound. Bzz, bzz, bzz.
Does Neva walk
wants to
up and
investigate.
say, "Hello,
Kiki wants to investigate.
bees?"
Kiki wants to investigate.
All right, investigation check, Kiki.
Because she's suspicious that this is just in the middle of the road, and
I want to see do these look like normal bees? So I'm gonna, I guess,
Nature
perception.
check, nature or perception.
Yes,
yeah, because she's a little bit like something to smell like.
30.
Jeez,
God damn it.
18 investigation.
So between
There's
Kiki,
a lot of things this character's not good at, but I threw a lot of points into perception.
clearly,
It's cool.
goddamn 30 on a 19. So you're looking at it, Neva, and the bee should be reacting to you at this point, just because it's a hive, and even if they're a little freaked out. But eventually you see one of them fly through Kiki, and you think, oh, this might be an illusion, because they should be wary of you or trying to fight you guys off at this point, 'cause you're getting very close to the hive.
All right, in that case, staff is immediately out. I am looking around to see, are we about to get ambushed?
With a 30,
Mage armor.
No one's there. As you struggle with your shirt.
Wait. No, I'm doing the magic thing. Sorry, no. So, Scoot, you said this is more than 10 pounds, but also an illusion?
The bees are an illusion.
Bees are an illusion. The beehive itself isn't.
You haven't checked that yet. You've just seen the bees are one flew through Kiki, physically through the Kenku.
Kiki? Can you
Yes,
tell from somewhat of a distance if something is a bomb?
Are you sitting in
Kiki's
your
intrigued
sniffing
by
Kenku
this.
into this now? Like,
I know, right? Can Kiki do a separate investigation check about what it is, or how?
sure.
Like, since she realized because she got an 18, I assume she knows it.
I will also
Illusion.
happily perception check the beehive if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead. So, an investigation. Kiki, as you're looking at it, it's built fairly standard, but it's too like you've seen beehives before, right? Because there's mead, and that's how a lot of mead gets made. But it doesn't have the openings it should for a bee. Like it's built very tight together, and usually if you're going to make a beehive, you like it a little more open so the bees can kind of move around in there and have some other ways to get in and out. But like this is built like almost a crate or a strong box or something.
Neva rolled a 19.
You're seeing what Kiki's seeing, in that there is like this is made a little too much to look like a beekeeper's hive. But like it has reinforced nails in it, and like that wood seems to be very solid, strong wood, which you wouldn't use for a beehive.
So it seems less like a potential, IED basically, and more like it's a safe that somebody disguised to look like a beehive.
Potentially.
In middle of road, says Kiki. She's starting to like pull out one of her bombs. She's like getting ready to wind it up. She's like, better sorry. She's just something doesn't sit right with it about Kiki. She's just like,
Um.
The party is very confused.
I know, right? We're probably overthinking it, but I'm telling you what, like, I'm just
Now comes the part of the
Kiki is-
DM process where
Yes.
your party sits there for a half an hour trying to figure out, is it a bomb or a mimic?
right. Oh my god.
Well, there's a
When
whole
we get
bunch of
through
things
the
that I can
door-
roll out. Scoot, I'm going to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. There is magic inside of
Can I
the
tell what
beehive.
kind of magic is inside?
It would be transmutation.
Huh. On a beehive. On a safe that looks like a beehive, there's a transmutation thing involved. Who'd have thunk?
Mhm.
All right. But there is not a, it's not going to summon something if I poke it, as far as I can tell, because
As
it's not
far as you can tell.
Can I see a place to open it, like a lock or anything of that type?
Yeah, there's a part where the beehive would naturally come apart so the beekeepers could get in for the honey. Like that is there.
Okay. Does it basically look like a keyhole?
No, it's just like you can take this thing apart. Like you can
Oh.
take the roof off like a bee, like a honey, like a beekeeper would to get the honey.
Okay. I'm gonna poke that off with my staff.
Okay, it slides right off.
Is there anything inside of it?
Mm-hmm.
What is inside of it?
A big chest.
Is the chest a mimic?
Wait, how big is the chest if it's a bee? Like,
Beehives are large.
If you're a mimic, you have to tell me.
by law.
Less like a. You mentioned it was like a beekeeper's like
If
box
you're an
hive,
undercover
right?
mimic,
Yeah, it's a
Like,
box
like,
hive,
like,
so it's
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
those are large. It's not like a circular hive that they make in the wild. This is one of those white boxes, so it's probably about the size of like a halfling, to be honest. Like a halfling could fit inside of it and hide.
They were
Not
sufficiently flexible.
not super comfortably, but like they could.
Kiki wants to try something. She now can, at her new level, she can actually cast cantrips. Doesn't have to just be through magic, through objects. So she's going to point at the box and and cast message, and be like, "Hi, how are you?" She just wants to see if there's someone or something, or if a mimic would even respond. She doesn't have no idea.
You got a response.
Oh my god, what's the response?
Hello, and it sort of trying to harmonize with you.
okay. So Kiki says out loud, something in there said hello back. So she'll also message and be like, I'm Kiki, who are you?
Boxy. Yeah. And you can feel in your mind's eye jazz hands, although the box has no hands.
Have you now bought us Boxy in 2 campaigns?
This is a different Boxy than the last one.
So Kiki conveys this to the group, and then she's like, I'm a Kinku. What are you? You mimic?
I'm an actor.
A thespian, if you will. Kiki conveys that to the group, and then she just put up her hands like she's done. She doesn't know what to. She's like, she doesn't know. She's like, mimic? Question mark.
I'll walk up and try to gently, lovingly pull the box out from inside the.
It is
beehive
extremely heavy. Give me a strength check.
Ooh, that's not a thing that I do. No,
it's too heavy.
7
Roscoe
is not
can't
gonna
get
do it. Okay, I'm out. Tapping out. I'm not the one true king of England.
I will ask it out loud. Why are you in there?
You hear from the box somebody talking, going, I was put here for my big entrance.
Is that what whoever put you there told you?
Yeah.
I heard the jazz hands that time.
I could feel them.
Neva has a suspicion that somebody put him there and told him it was for that reason.
Yeah, it was a tabaxi.
Really didn't feel like dealing with his shit.
It was a tabaxi.
Who put you there?
Oh, his name was... Excuse me. What was his name? He was a very musical gentleman.
Was his name Lola and was he a showgirl?
No, it was a dude cat, I think. His name was Rimblebanks.
Rimblebanks.
Fuck you, Scoot.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Neva quietly tells the rest of the group that she suggests leaving him there.
I tried to pull him out. Didn't work. Let's go.
Yep.
With a 7, you could ask somebody else to do it. That is very strong.
Kiki nudges Tessa, because since they're on the same mount together, she's like, "Want to move
Is
back?
that thing alive?
Something inside?"
Did anything happen to Roscoe when he tried to take the box out?
No,
Like,
Roscoe
when he
just
stuck his
couldn't
hands in the
pull it
beehive?
up. Like, he tried to pull it, he
It's
just couldn't, was able to.
All right, so
It's like
here,
a
I'll-
low-grade embarrassment.
before you try and do that, I will say to Boxy, well, if you're supposed to be making your big entrance, I guess now is your time to make it.
I'm stuck.
Kiki turns to Neva and she's like, "You said only open one box today." But she's like, she like pulls out a tinker tool and kind of waves it like, "Want me to give it a try?"
Well, is it locked or is it stuck?
Boxy says, I'm stuck in this thing.
Yeah.
I could try picking it up.
Yeah, give me a strength check, Tessa.
Tessa, since I'm still standing right there, I will give you some guidance.
I'll luck that.
Yep. 6,
Wow.
7.
14.
14 gets it up.
Heaviest box.
Yeah, guidance
It's wedged the hell in there, and it seems to almost be anchored to the ground that Tessa just pulls it up and pulls it free. And it's probably like a square chest. You might find like a Foot Locker-esque trunk, and Tessa puts it down, and you can see eyeballs flip up from the top of the top of the trunk, and sort of big beefy arms come out from the side.
That's
Yeah,
something
that
you
feels
see every
good.
day.
Thank you, Boxy says. It's good to see things again.
Was there somewhere in particular you were traveling?
I was traveling with a band of Tabaxi bards, but then I guess I fell off the caravan. I don't know where I am.
You wouldn't be the first one they've made fall off the wagon.
Are you able
So-
to move on your own?
And Boxy looks down to his no legs. And then he kind of pushes his hands down and sort of walks kind of on his hands, but it's not very fast.
Okay, he seems good. Well, pleasure meeting you, Boxy.
Oh, man, would you like, I should thank you for getting me out of that thing.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, hang on. And he flips his head open. Yeah, right here, grab him.
Tessa's looking a little anxious at this.
Well,
She's
what's in
heard
there?
of rumors of putting your hands in strange chests.
It's an Aloran rule. You don't do it. You meet the person first. You get the consent.
You have to ask, obviously.
Yeah.
Can I see anything in there, or is it
It's
like?
pretty dark, but you can sort of make out like a pile of stuff towards the bottom of him.
What the hell?
I
I'll just
don't
read
like
it.
the way that ended up phrased.
So Tessa reaches in.
Well,
and-
if I lose my arm, I can always have my aunt regenerate it.
yeah. Tessa reaches in. You rummage around. Kind of like, I don't know if you folks have these, but like a toy box at the doctor or at the dentist when you've been like a very good child. Tessa, you grab something and you pull it up, and it's a ruby.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
a
worth.
real one?
Yeah, like a real one, like an actual ruby.
Oh, thanks, Boxy.
Yeah. Thank you for getting me out of there.
Do you need a ride?
Probably.
Where were you going again?
I don't know.
Maybe Thunderblade? I mean, it's on the way.
That sounds like a place.
What do you think, gang? Should we take him with?
Do we have that capability?
We can put him on one of the mounts, right?
Drag him behind.
Oh,
no.
Just time now.
Yeah.
Perhaps the Von Lycans will be well equipped to.
Hey,
Yeah, what-
Sunnyvale.
The Gak looks up to you.
How do you feel about Boxy as a passenger?
Sunnyvale walks up, gives him a sniff. Then Apples comes up and licks him. And goes, "Bleh."
That's no indication of his quality. Apples will lick everything.
Yeah.
Sunny nods to you as if Sunny's cool with this.
He seems okay. All right. Yeah. Sunny, can you a motion for him to lean over so Boxy can
Just sort of, yeah,
make his
Fox
way
just,
up
hoists himself
weirdly.
up, sits himself on the back of the Gak. Oh man. Oh, these are those cool lizard things from that other place we had that show at.
You've been to
Okay, so
Dosnerall
you've been to
before?
Dosh.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of horny people.
In more than one sense, yes.
Well, they just had
It could
horns.
be anywhere, but it's definitely Doge.
Right, I guess we're still headed for Thunderblade City.
Okay.
After this very stifled
What?
and weird. Good.
Why did they put you in a box that looked like a beehive?
Oh,
Yeah, can I go look at the beehive box? Is it still illusioning bees?
No, it is once he came out of it, it sort of stopped. And it's still like it's there. It's now just sitting there empty, like he was just hanging out in it.
I'm gonna poke at it with a stick. Is it still magic? Is it doing things?
The spell is stopped,
Okay.
but now it's just kind of like wood. And it's
Okay.
good wood. You can probably get a salvage for it.
It's just a crate. Do we need a crate, guys? It seems like an okay crate. I don't know a lot about. Yes, I do. I lived on the docks. Is this a good crate?
This is an excellent crate.
This is a fantastic crate, you guys.
We'd be foolish to leave it.
And Nick, if you would like a new crate, you are welcome to have a new.
Well, I can take care of that, Boxy says as he hops down and just gobbles it down into himself.
Boxy, why does this box you were contained in look like a beehive?
It was a set. It was a prop for one of the numbers that Tabaxi were doing.
That actually makes far more sense now.
Yeah.
Neva has seen jellicles before.
Mm-hmm.
She does not prize that particular memory.
No, they came to the crossroads one time and have never been allowed back.
They've never been allowed to return.
Ever.
Well, the crossroads is open to literally everyone, but not jellicles.
Weird Tabaxi death cult. Yep, and Boxy along the way will tell you that, like, yeah, like, he was sort of bankrolling them, and he was he was doing a lot of the stage work. He is actually quite versed in making, like, backdrops and props and stuff, as he's talking to Nick on the remainder of the journey back to Thunderblade. He goes, yeah, I'm from a place that was like a donut, and then I decided to leave there, and now I'm here.
You were from a donut.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of shaped like a donut. It's like in a sort of void, and there's just like a whole...
Do I know
There are a
of
lot
any
of doors in the donut?
tourist lands?
No, this is not probably on the plane.
Neva asks him, are there a lot of doors in the donut place?
Yeah, I went through a door, and that's how I found the cats.
That's your first mistake.
That explains a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Neva is now far more comfortable with the idea of Boxy coming with.
What?
So wait,
Neva, you seem pleased with this information.
It's
What's a door tourist place?
Boxy.
Should I know it?
Yeah.
Did you ever work with a very large bear? And did he ever... Did he use you to store things?
Yes. Now that you mention it, I do remember a bear.
Did the bear say it was... Did the bear tell you to leave? Did the bear ask you to leave? Did the bear not know you left?
I don't think he knows I left.
Do you still have things in you from when you worked with the bear?
Well, less now, because I was paying for stuff for the cats.
Now I understand how you were bankrolling them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
but also, if you were bankrolling them, what did you do to get left behind?
Oh, I think they dropped me and just didn't notice.
That feels like a thing you notice.
Look, they don't talk to me much. They just sort of, they came to me when they need stuff for like props and costumes, and they just sort of just like hang out with the luggage.
It's also, to be fair, my one and only experience with jellicles has not led me to believe that they are extraordinarily gifted with powers of observation, or tact, or empathy, or really anything other than the ability to sing and dance.
Death cult.
Death cult.
Yeah, but they get hungry. So they're going to eventually miss the thing that is passing out their per diem.
They are, and at that point they will probably have to work for a goddamn living instead.
Listen, I hate jellicles as much as the next person. I want that to be
Perfectly
resonatingly
clear.
understood. I think we're all on the same page with a lot of deep, deep jellicle hate. And that's how the world should go. But I am, admittedly, cagey about the idea that Foxy was kept inside a fake beehive where they were stuck and not able to free themselves. That was the regular operation for moving around, and then they just fell off the back of a truck. I've used the fallen off the back of a truck line a bunch of times, and I was always lying.
To be fair, I fell out of a beehive, and then she pulled me out, and he points to Tessa.
I
He
actually
fell into beehive.
Well, I was in the beehive, then the beehive fell out.
God, no pun intended, believe him.
You meant that.
I meant that. Especially given where he comes from.
Where is that?
So there's you are aware that there are other planes of existence?
Well, sure. Nick starts to like inhale to start giving like the other planes 201.
Nick, how does one tend to travel between the planes?
Gate spell or teleportation circle, something like that.
There are other ways to travel between the planes, but for certain people, there is when you travel between planes, you don't travel directly from one plane to the next. You make an intermediary stop, even if you're not cognizant of it, so to speak. There is a plane between the planes. It's called Sigil, and it is shaped like a donut and filled with doors that lead to everywhere, really.
Yeah, one time I was with that bear guy, and we went to a garden with a very nice lady that had boxies on her chest. They were so big.
I see you've met the priestess Alora.
Yeah, she was nice.
That's in keeping with her general tendencies. The bear you worked with, large white polar bear, had armor that looked like stained glass, right?
Yes. Well, me and a bunch of other guys worked for him. We held things. Yep.
You would have to do a lot of that working for Winston.
Yeah.
Winston is the seneschal of
Taxman. He's the taxman of Sigil.
He's the taxman. He's the CFO. He is responsible for collecting tribute taxes to the lord who runs that plane. Some of that tribute is eaten by Winston. He's very magical, feeds on magical things, hence the stained glass armor giant bear situation. But Boxy, if I'm understanding correctly, you also have some of that tribute, although less than you used to, in you.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
So you've been using tax dollars to fund a theater company.
Yep.
When she's talking about the taxes, the tax situation, Nick has a vague memory of a PhD thesis that he read on Sigil's role in the disappearance of laundry.
They love socks for some reason, and no one knows why. Just the left one.
Yeah. It's, something about like the way that the clotheslines are put up. If you align them up with ley lines, then...
It's boom.
Yeah.
That's mostly from one of Winston's sons who, like, for some reason loves making scarves out of socks and only out of socks.
Oh god. That's such it's the clothing equivalent of a creature that's like stitched out of small animals, like very horror movie. It's just like clothing that's stitched out of old socks. Just patchwork together, very like the clothing equivalent of body horror.
So has anyone from the donut-shaped place with lots of doors ever come looking for you?
No? Not that I'm aware of.
That's
He's in a
surprising.
beehive.
And I wonder if that's why they disguised you. Well, then again, I don't think the tentacles would know well enough.
Maybe.
Let's have you travel with us for a time until we can figure out what to do next.
Do you guys do shows?
No.
Oh. What do you do?
A lot of things.
Yes, Roscoe. I saw you had something to say.
It's a great question.
We right now, what we are doing is
We're gaffers. We gaff.
we are traveling to Thunderblade City
Oh,
in preparation to go to the desert.
I've never gaffed, nor have I been there.
You're in for a treat.
Cool. And I can help pay for things, he says, smiling. A very large toothy grin.
I might suggest that until we have a clearer understanding of whether or not Sigil wants you back, that we perhaps, as much as we appreciate it, perhaps not take you up on that generous offer just yet.
I insist.
I don't know that you can do that.
But I'm doing it now, he says, very sure of himself.
Oh, okay then, Boxy. You insist away.
Yay. I'm going to insist. And he settles back.
One option would be to leave the legless box of stolen tax money.
I think it would be a better idea to bring him with us because one, not everyone will be as scrupulous as we are, and two, it might be a chance for us to meet some people from Sigil, which would be rather interesting.
Roscoe doesn't. I don't think Roscoe ever really needs to like I can very much live with disagreeing with other people, but I am full bore suspicious of this box and do not want to. I said my piece. Box is coming, but like
He ain't happy about it.
no. Anytime this box is trying to do something shady, Roscoe's probably keeping one eye out there and would be more than glad to roll some perception for the shenanigans because I do not trust this box. What a weird sentence. I don't trust this box.
That's why I love this game. You folks have this conversation as you enter Thunderblade City proper. He's like, whoa, it's so big. It's so cool. It's not a donut, though. It's very flat.
Most places on this plane are flat. Very few places, in fact, in all of the planes, to my knowledge, are donut-shaped. It's a very difficult shape to maintain.
Are they croissant-shaped?
The moon is sometimes.
Ooh. Cool. And he settles back in on the gag. Where would you, now that you're in the city, where would you like to go?
I want to go see those dwarves that had done the expedition to the ruins.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone else want to do anything while we are here?
Mick would very much like to go to a library.
Okay. Kiki, Roscoe, Tessa?
Kiki wouldn't mind going shopping for a spell scroll or two, but it is not a high priority right this second.
Mm-hmm.
But while we're
Outside of my standard stock up on gums and cigarettes, I don't have anything at the moment.
Got it.
funnels, you know.
Yeah.
No, I already have my funnel and my small paring knife. Don't think I've forgotten.
Yeah, I haven't either. It troubles me as the dungeon master.
Good.
Yeah.
This is how we feel all the time. We just spent 40 minutes trying to open a hive of bees.
And you found a box, friend.
You have us. You have us
hive of no
constantly
bees.
afraid.
It's true.
It is true. So Nick will head to the library. Most folks head off into town to just see what they can find, and Neva's heading to the various guild halls where you can find these dwarves. So it's very easy to find them. It's a bunch of dwarves in a city of mostly minotaurs, so they stick out as they're not giant and horned. And you find a younger female dwarf, at least by their standards, because they live a very long time. And she's sort of sitting there weighing out various gemstones against like pallets of lead, kind of trying to figure out a balance and worth. And she's, again, just making recordings.
I will wait until she's not in the middle of balancing a thing, because I know how fucking annoying it is to like be almost at perfect balance and then somebody interrupts you. It's the worst.
Right, so she
Kate
gets
knows this. Neva does not know this, but Kate, who has been in the sciences, knows how goddamn annoying that is.
She finally finishes, goes good, and makes a recording and looks up. She goes, "Oh, well, hi there, Miss Antlers. What can I do for you?"
Hi, ma'am. I was looking to see if there were any in your guild who've made expeditions to the ruins in the Tri-Sands.
Tri-Sands? Oh, yeah, I think Gritty has.
Where would I be able to find them?
Oh, drinking, probably. Yeah, they're over in the Brewer's Hall, I think. It's where those layabouts usually are.
I was going to ask if there were any particular spots to check. Thank you for that.
No problem. See you then.
I will head off.
You head to the brew hall, where there's a lot of different guilds have gathered here, various professions. But again, you see a company of dwarves along with some other humans, a couple of minotaurs playing a game of dice as they're throwing things around, and there's various shoutings and yelling. It's sort of like craps.
Okay.
But there is one of them that has crazy eyes and just the most orange hair you've ever seen, just sticking shock up like he got hit with electricity, and a crazy scraggly beard underneath his chin with no mustache.
Is he playing, or is he just watching?
He's just watching, but he is cloaked to sort of look kind of rangery, but you can see the pick hanging from his belt. But he's watching his fellows either lose or win a lot of money based on his laughing.
Excuse me, are you Gertie by chance?
I am. How you doing?
Quite well, thank you. How are you?
He extends his hand for you to shake.
I shake his hand.
It squeaks.
Neva is not actually all that surprised by this.
Sorry.
She has had two of the Fox children as her students. She is used to this kind of shit.
Yeah, sorry. Whenever we're off duty in the city, he takes a little thing off of his hand, a little squeaky guy. He puts it in his pocket. So, Miss Neva. Yeah, right. What can I do for you?
Lady over at the guild hall mentioned you've made an expedition to some of the ruins in the Tri-Sands before?
Oh, yeah. No, that's fucking crazy shit over there.
I can imagine. Have you gone...
Yeah, bad things will happen. You fuck around out there. You interested in a particular ruin?
I mean, I can certainly understand needing to be careful out there. I hear the sand is quite gritty and coarse. Mm-hmm. I got Randall's almost spit take there.
Yeah, I think I got this hair. It's my natural color.
So, Scoot, would I be correct in assuming that Gertie's name is in fact spelled Girtty?
It's an I at the end, but yeah.
Got it. Understood.
He is eating a hot dog.
Of course he's eating a hot dog. I'm going to guess he's also a strong union supporter.
Yeah, no, he's very pro-guilds. Very.
Incredible.
So I'm specifically looking for a rather odd-looking gate. I'd heard some rumors that there was a possible, like the ruins of a Fey gate out there.
Yeah, we found something like that out there in the Middle Sands, but we didn't fuck with it.
Would you be able to? I was assuming by your tone that you are not necessarily in the interests of making a second expedition there, but would it be possible for you to help me a little bit with the map?
I mean, look, you got the right coin. We'll take you out there. We don't guarantee, you want to go fucking with Fey magic, you feel free. But then again, judging by the antlers and the vines and the little Tweety birds you got going on there, lady, I'm thinking maybe you might be a little versed in it versus some of the more schmuck mages that want to go out and fuck with them things.
You would assume correctly.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, right coin. We'll take you out there, and if you don't die, take you back.
That's fair enough. What kind of pricing are you?
Is it just you with the tall antlers and the foresty get up?
No, there's a number of us, all quite capable of handling ourselves on the road. There would be 5 of us in total.
Okay, I'm gonna have to meet them if you don't mind.
Reasonable, I understand. We do also have some transportation. We have that might be helpful. We've recently acquired some GACs.
Oh yeah, no, horses ain't gonna fucking last out there. Gax is where it's at.
Yes, although mine has a startling tendency to eat garbage.
Yeah, you get that sometimes. To get kicked in the head, it happens.
It happens to the best of them. Certainly, when right now, I know the various members of my party are currently out and running some of their own errands, but perhaps over dinner we could discuss things further and you could meet them?
Sure. We're probably going to go through... There's a great place over here called Chicks and Pete's. They got us some good food. Good, these long potatoes. They got spices on them. It's real great. Come on by. Ask for Gritty's table. We're regulars there.
That was a Freudian slip, Scoot.
Mm-hmm.
We will do. What time?
Drink o'clock?
Drink o'clock. So no earlier than 4 or so. I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be there. You do whatever you want, lady. I'm not your father.
We will plan to see you there for dinner. Thank you very much,
Wonderful.
Cardi.
We'll see you there. And then you hear the table screaming. Goes, uh-oh. Sorry, that's Phil. He's a fucking fanatic when it comes to gambling. I'm going to pull him out that table if you don't mind. And he walks over.
Boo this man! Boo!
Boo! Everyone's muted.
But it happened.
But it happened. And now these creatures, these dwarves are canonical now. Anyway, Nick, over at the Biblioteca, what are you looking for?
So I'm looking for a couple of things. I'm looking for information on Sigil or on this Winston character that Neva was talking about. And I am looking for books on transmutation or does this world have dunamancy spells?
They have more nature-aligned magic that will be helpful out there versus the more arcane schools. But it's not necessarily a mancy, it's more of knowledge of natural magics. Sorry,
that's the Matt Mercer's School of Magic from Explorer's Guide to Wildemount.
There are more... I should put this.
There
will
gravity spells and time spells.
Yeah, there will be spells kind of in those areas that you can probably look into.
Okay, I am intrigued in that. So if there's any books on that, I don't necessarily expect any actual spell books, although that would be incredible, or scrolls.
Again, they don't have live spell books in the normal part of the library because...
Do they have live spell books at all?
Yes, if you are a student of the Academia Arcana, which is the college school here, which is basically the large magic college.
Okay, new plan.
I gotta enroll real quick.
I'm gonna
transfer to a different school when the entire point that this was your graduation exercise.
I'm gonna take a look around the library.
Mm-hmm. You'll find some of that other stuff, right? You'll find some stuff about Sigil. There's nothing about this. It gives you some basic information, so you're now aware of that. Nothing about this bear. You're not sure what Neva's talking about.
So it gives him the bare minimum, but not the bare minimum?
Not the bare necessities, anyway.
So I'm looking for any students from the University Arcana who are here, but not in the school book section.
Right, so there's one dude, kind of scraggly looking guy, real rough. it might be the first time this human is trying to grow a beard. Definite freshman vibes on him, but he's looks like he's in the middle of an existential crisis. You're pretty sure he's getting out of some like philosophy 101 classes, and this is the first time he's like had to do that sort of thinking. That's
rough.
Yeah,
that's super rough. Okay, I'm gonna approach him and I'm gonna ask, hey man, so I'm visiting from out of town, and I go to University of Phoenix's. They won't let me in unless I go to school here. Do you have a spare robe that I could borrow?
Dude, what is even robes? Does it even matter? Are we all just one of the bigger zeitgeist?
Yes, robes are made out of matter. Transmutation wizard would know that.
It's true, I would. Robes are, in fact, made out of matter.
Mm-hmm, they are.
I give him a pat on the shoulder and, like, you're going to be okay, man. I give him the little, post-freshman philosophy course. Like, things matter, feelings exist, like, you're going to be okay.
I don't even know, man. And he just sort of rolls off his robes and just walks out, leaving them on the chair.
I'm going to put those on and just confidently walk over to the spellbook zone.
And they look at you, and, like, there's clearly somebody's fighting with the librarian, and they have there's just enough energy to look at you and sort of see the robes and do an ocular pat on and clear you.
I'm gonna do the student equivalent of having a clipboard, which is like I'm gonna like grab a quill and like write stuff on my hand, and then like muttering to myself and like not making eye contact while I like rush through the
and she's
sort of the turnstiles.
And she tries to stop you, but then the grad student is just going to the point where you can see her gathering energy in her hand as if to cast a spell at the other grad student. There's a small burst of wind as you get through the turnstiles into the magic section.
I am totally fine with that. I'm going to take a look around. What kind of spells can I avail myself of here?
There is knowledge from every single school of magic that you're aware of, as well as other types of magic from the more natural sources, right? So things that shaman and druids would use, and things that like those particular cultures and circles are willing to share like publicly.
Sure.
There's also older lores of magic from various places, including Duraheim, which is a dwarven place you've heard of, Volcani, another dwarven area, a place called Lasana, which is very new to you, and you've heard of it before. There's a seems to be a very popular expansion that's referred to as the Aloran School. These are more like instructional manuals than anything else. But you do see a book that's under a piece of glass called the Sexonomicon. You're not totally sure what that is, but maybe something to check out later.
I don't think Nick would be able to not get distracted browsing the Aloran shelves for at least like 5 minutes, 10 minutes before he's like looking for spells. Right.
Spells.
Nose out of the smut. Okay, so something we've never explicitly talked about is I forgot to specifically say that I wanted to go buy nice paper and magical ink.
That's fine. I'm assuming you're doing that because that's how spells work.
How would I have? Are there shops in Thunderblade such that I could have bought a reasonable amount of aforementioned
you are functionally in
before I went to the library?
You were functionally in like New York or London. This is
Okay.
a massive metropolis. These things are here.
Excellent. I was pretty sure that was the case. So I'm going to buy 300 GP worth of spell copying materials.
Mm-hmm. You have the hood up.
You're tired. You look like you don't have a lot of money. You haven't eaten in a while. They're like, oh, student.
Whatever.
As someone
Don't even ask
wearing their college hoodie right now, I feel targeted.
You just came here to have a good time.
Do I get the sense, whatever that means, that my party will be distressed if I spend like 6 hours in the library?
Probably not.
Okay, cool. That's my plan.
Okay. The rest of the party, would you have to guys? Okay, if you're buying things, you can just message me later. We'll just take care of it then. Anything specifically you want to do?
We'll
though?
do it offline.
Yep.
I buy a 12 by 12 waxed canvas tarp.
Okay. You do.
All good then. See ya.
Okay. Tessa, is there anything weird you want to buy while we're doing this?
No, but I probably will go to like a training ground or something to practice with my new sword.
Okay. You find it's, as you're doing it, because again, it's a +1 magic sword, it is that sword is chunky. Like, it's a big badass sword, but it is light as anything in your hands, and you're able to move much swifter and strike truer and harder than you did even with your other one.
It's a one-hander though, right?
Yeah, it's a one-hander.
Okay.
You use a
Just
shield.
making
Yep, they would have given you a one-hander. But it is still like it feels lighter and more nimble in your hand compared to your other one.
Nice.
Okay, eventually Neva tracks all of you down and tells you have a dinner date.
That's what happens. And all of you
That's what Roscoe was buying the tarp.
tells you that we're meeting someone for dinner
Yep.
about some possible help with an expedition to the Trisands.
Yep. So Neva takes you to the to Chicks and Pete's, where you find Gritty as a cat eats Kate's hand, just so that the audience is aware. One day I'll post our videos. One day so everyone can see the cat shenanigans. One day. It's not this day though. You find and you see the dwarf that she's seemingly wanting to contract, and he's like, right, awesome. You, and he points to Rossi. He's like, you look like you're pretty fucking traveled.
You mean
You're muted.
worn out and road weary and
No, I'm just dirty.
Okay. He looks.
Yeah, I'm messing with you, man. I won't pretend to understand what we're gonna get ourselves into with the desert, but I can hold my own when I need to.
Okay. He looks to Tessa and he goes, you're really big.
I can handle myself.
That's good, because there's a lot of things that want to eat us in the Trisands.
They can try.
I like to hear that. He looks to Kiki, and he just sort of looks Kiki up and down, and I'm sorry, little friend, what do you do? What is your role in the group?
Kiki has her new Vorpal dagger, and she's carving in an equation into the table. Like, she's not really paying attention. She's excited by like the deadliness and also the possibility for inscribing like engineering calculations and stuff. She, me? Oh, she's like, and then she just casually with her other hand holds up a bomb. And she's like, make things go boom.
He looks back to Neva. Is this like a regular thing that happens, or
The bomb making or the getting distracted by equation?
I'm gonna
Because
go
the answer to both of them is yes.
Okay. I'm concerned, but also intrigued, so that's good.
They're excellently made bombs.
I hope so. And then he looks at Nick, and he looks at him and goes, is this like your scribe, or...
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'd ask him to demonstrate his casting of chain lightning, but I don't think that would be terribly welcome in here.
No, they get pretty pissy about that. And he points up to the ceiling. There are scorch marks from various spells that have been discharged over the years. All right, look, if I'm going to take you, you nice folk out into the Trisands, we're going to have to do one thing first.
Is it drink together?
And eat things.
Nick lets out a breath he was holding.
They bring a massive tanker. Like so big that it actually looks appropriate in Tessa's hands, which is kind of a novelty thing because she's quite large. And they bring you a massive roll that is just jam-packed with probably some type of venison that is smothered in cheese.
That looks
Does
delicious.
it also have? Does it have onions on it?
Yeah, and it also
You can
has
get it
these.
whittled out.
Yeah, you can get it whittled out. He says, and there's also strips of bacon and these small, like hash brownie-esque potatoes that are basically tater tots.
Yes.
I goes, look, here's the deal.
Potatoes.
Nobody, unless you can finish this. If you finish this, I'll take you into the sands. But everybody's got to finish.
Like, collectively?
Is there just one of them or a bunch of them?
There's one of them for each of you.
Ah.
So I'm already like half done mine.
Sorry.
I give myself guidance and tuck in.
Tessa didn't wait. The moment it hit the plate in front of her, she just started like, "Oh, was the thing? Like, where are we supposed to?"
And Neva is sticking with the potatoes and will slide hers over in front of Tessa.
Well, don't mind if I do.
Wow. Nick, Kiki.
I'll start in. I don't really have anything to help me with this.
Well, you do actually.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, the tiefling.
Oh, well, okay, yes. I'll see how far I can get. I'll see how far I can get on my own.
Tessa's one of those people you see on one of those TV shows who can eat the most food.
Yes.
Like man versus food, except it's tiefling versus food.
Tessa versus food.
Maybe.
Worst comes to worst, I have my my college drinking spell.
Yeah, that'll do.
College drink.
And Kiki.
Yeah. Kiki's going to look at the food, estimate its like cubic mass, figure out like her stomach, and she's going to try and figure out how much that she could actually, ingest, and then she'll cut that part off and then just push the rest over to Tessa. And she might
never underestimate how much a small lady can eat. That's all I'll say.
And she'll occasionally cast prestidigitation to kind of clean up some of the, like, take the edges off some of the food. But she'll tuck it.
Okay.
She'll tuck it.
All right. So he goes, excellent. So out in the Tri-Sands with supplies for all you folks is going to cost you roughly, probably about, say, $7.50 a piece.
I don't remember how much I have, so I need to go look.
Not that.
Not that.
There's more. That's more than any of us.
Not that.
Yeah, no.
Well,
That's not happening.
not more than any of you. More than you five.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh no, our backer. Producer / investor. You were going to make this happen one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
Kiki will tug on Neva's sleeve and be like, Boxy, help pay?
I would strongly prefer not to involve Box.
Why not? Kiki doesn't quite understand the ethics.
It's not our money.
Boxy's money. Boxy give.
It's
Not Boxy's money.
not Boxy's money either. It belongs to the Lord of Sigil, technically.
Well, Neva, I don't know how to say this, but I don't have that money.
None of us do. And she turns back to Gertie and says, unfortunately, that's somewhat beyond our price range. Is there anything that we can offer, either as part of the expedition itself, or in service before or afterwards, which would allow for more negotiation?
Look, I'm not going to say I'm not impressed by the tiefling's ability to put down 3 stakes. That was amazing. However, that money is money. That pays for these people's lives and the risks, so it's $7.50 a piece. If you folks want to do some fundraising, maybe get like a GoFundMe, something or other from your friends, that's fine, but that's the price. Now, again, we're not leaving for a while, so if you can go scrounge up the money, we'd be happy to take y'all.
Understood. When do you next depart?
We can wait about 5 days before we gotta probably take a job, or before Phil just blows through his money. God, he's such a crazy bastard.
Understood.
Yeah, you finish having a lovely meal, and you depart Chicken Pete's. So, Gaffers, what do you do?
Next episode.
Next
the Gaffers.
episode. Gaffers have a bake sale.
Bingo night with the Gaffers.
Part of the reason I'm uncomfortable with taking money from Moxie is ethical concerns. But a far larger part of it is that the tax collector for the Lord of Sigil is a giant fucking magical polar bear who I would very much like to not anger. I am not entirely sure of the mechanism by which he finds that which he is to collect. I am not entirely sure how he can process raw magical material and use it. But the fact that he is able to do both of those things inclines me to believe it is not a great idea to take that which belongs to him.
Could be a little two birds, one stone situation. What do you think a finder's fee for an entire chest full of taxes is?
I think that's a much more reasonable approach.
At the phrase "two birds, one stone," Kiki shoots you a look.
Wow, Roscoe.
Yo, what's up? You've called me Angel 3 times in the last 2 days, and that's not what I am. So, just because.
Did she actually call you in game, or is that me?
I think you did, just in the memes channel.
Okay,
I think I'm projecting.
Okay. Oh, okay.
All right, Gaffers, I think we're going to give our crew some time to think about how they're going to raise this funds and just try to see what they come up with for next week. So everyone, thank you very much for coming back to Ryam, and we will see you all next week.
Roscoe would be a good stripper.
Hooray! And we're leaving it on that.